Welcome back to the shop, everybody. Having fun with vacuum lines today. This is kind of a pain in the ass on this car or these cars, because there's not a lot of information. I have my Lincoln Bibles. I've got about 50 notebooks like this that have like my own chicken scratch that you probably wouldn't be able to understand. There's a little bit in the books. I'll go ahead and share that with you guys. Maybe this will help you a little bit. You could pause it at this spot right here if you're trying to do this. I have a diagram similar to this that's colored, but couldn't find it when I started to do this today, so I just using the manual. And here's another section. This is more the door locks. Kind of shows you how they're routed. It all comes from this main source off the engine, and then it splits several times and goes back into the canister. You see I taped these the two main ones that go to the canister, and I ran them back here. Originally they run up here and they go in here, and you kind of see them a lot more, and I'm not quite finished with this because I ordered some more check valves. These work, but I ordered some nice, new shiny ones, and I'll be putting those there, and another T here as well. So I'm gonna attempt to show you guys how they're routed and some of the tips and tricks, I guess, real quick. I always say that, but try to make this video quick for you guys. So you're gonna want some markers or paint pens. Paint pens are ideal, but I didn't have every color. So as you can see, like the blue showed up pretty well. That pink wasn't gonna show up. So I used a piece of white electrical tape and then put the pink on it. That's not necessarily really to, I guess, mark the colors, but especially, like I'm restoring cars to sell eventually, and I guess it wouldn't matter. I'm never gonna have to deal with it, but I try to think of the next guy, and a lot of guys don't think about it, but somebody might be working on these vacuum lines 30, 40, 50 years from now. These cars, if you build them right, they'll last a long time. So you can see here, hopefully, I'm trying to video this with my cell phone. You can kind of see where everything's marked down there. And I do the same on the inside when I have to replace all that stuff. So get you some markers, take this few minutes to mark everything. And hopefully your car's not in super bad shape where most of the stuff is there, and you can just do one line at a time, and you should be able, if you clean it, maybe with a little bit of carburetor cleaner, some Awesome or whatever you got, and you should be able to see the lines. They originally had lines on them. One thing I would want to say, this vacuum line here I got off of Amazon. It was like a 4 or a 5 pack of the different sizes, but that's the brand there. And it was, try not to move too fast because I know I'm doing this, I always move too fast. The smaller, the 764 and the 532nd, I think it is, they were okay. Like you see, that's a pretty decent wall thickness. That was actually pretty good, and pretty similar to the Gates stuff. That's the 764. Actually, it was probably a little bit thicker, but but when I got to the larger diameters, here's the 532nds, which is majority of what you're going to use on the smaller stuff is going to be 532nd. That wasn't too bad, but the bigger ones on this damn $80 kit that I bought or whatever it was, the bigger ones were pretty much useless. You see how flimsy this is? Pretty useless. I put a vacuum pump on it and pulled it down to the 15 pounds of vacuum, or 15 inches, whatever it is, and it did suck this close. And then this one was the same shit. So the wall thickness is just, it's just too weak on the two bigger sizes there. So save yourself some time and some money. You'll spend a little bit more in the beginning, but and get some decent stuff. So this Gates is actually reinforced. So for the two bigger sizes, that's what you're going to want. For the 732nds and 932nds, you're going to want the reinforced stuff. So you see that there. And the majority of what you're going to be using is the 932nds for the bigger lines and the 532nds for the smaller lines. So Now let's see if I can somewhat give you a quick rundown, because you'll spend forever trying to figure this out, and a lot of times it's all already gone or taken apart, or missing or crumbling. And speaking of crumbling, so real quick side note, I kept this little piece here because it doesn't look that bad, and a lot of guys would look at it and think, oh, that's not too bad, but as you guys know, you're probably well aware, especially if you're watching this video, you see how that just crumbles like that? It definitely shouldn't snap like that. So these lines, even though, if they look okay and they look like they don't have any leaks or whatever, it's just a bad idea to leave them, especially if you're quote unquote restoring a car. But even if it's your own car, you see how brittle that is. It's just, 50 years of being in this engine bay. So the bigger lines, especially, a lot of people will try to keep, let me see, I might have one. We'll just not do the bigger lines because they do hold up a lot better. And who knows, maybe they'd be fine. I'll never know because I never leave them. So just, it's maybe $100, not even, probably 50 for all these rolls. And you'll save yourself a lot of trouble down the road. Because these, this vacuum controls a lot of stuff in these cars, as you know. So all of your door locks are vacuum actuated. If you have cruise control, it's involved. The wipers are vacuum to do the wiper sprayers, and obviously the air conditioner. Jesus Christ. Obviously the air conditioner, that's the main thing that you guys, most people are going to be doing this for, is to try to get all of these little actuators to work. There's a shitload more vacuum lines on the inside, and maybe I'll do that as a part 2 to this. So without further ado, holy crap, 7 minutes into it and I haven't even started. The main line coming off is on most cars is going to split, and it's going to split you'll have a 3-way splitter. And then on one of those is going to go down, and I'm making this video for myself also, so I don't have to try to do this, because every time I think I got it, and then the next time I have no freaking idea. I can't remember, how things went. So this junction block, I don't know how it's easier to look at it. Maybe on the piece of paper that I got up here. Boom. That's basically what the junction block looks like. There's 3 big ports, 1, 2, and 3, and I had the green and the black and blah blah blah, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. On the bigger ones, they're all just providing the source vacuum. And then this is, in my shitty handwriting, what each one does. So the first line comes off, splits. You'll have one line that doesn't do anything, and it just goes straight to one of these ports. And I think I happen to put it on this top port. And then it will split, and you'll need a check valve. Like I said, I got the new ones on the way. You'll have a check valve, and one will feed the wiper switch on the inside of the motor. And then it'll split and go to the vacuum canister, which is this deal here, which is going to be under the fender right under there. You guys are probably aware of that. And then the other one will come down and go into where I put it, on the top left here. And I believe, like I said, it could go in any of these 3, but put it on the top left. So that's one. And then it splits the second time to go to the other canister. It's pretty much the same deal here. It's going to go through a check valve, so it can't go backwards, and it's going to split and go to the canister and then across. But this one actually splits again here, roughly, and it will go to the main block on one of the big terminals, and there are big ports, and then it'll come up here to the blower. So there's a fitting here. Let me try to get shed some light on the subject. So there's a fitting here that has 3 ports on it. So on the second big line that comes from the canister, it's going to split here and go to the port and to the big port on the blower here. And then you'll have a brown, which will be this small one here. That brown one is going to go directly to the small port on the back there. And I'm sorry, it's hard to get in here and shit, especially using this big ass cell phone. But it's going to go to that small port on the back there. And then there's another small port in the middle. And that one goes to your valve here, the control valve. And then you'll have a big heater hose that comes down. And then you got this other heater hose here. So then after that, the only two things left are the two actuators, which are here. Your blue and red are going to be on this outer actuator, which is slanted, if that helps you remember it. It's called the outside air actuator, I believe. And then the outside air bleed crank is what this one is called for whatever reason. And this is pink and white. And these are the factory colors. Pink and white, blue and red. The blue is going to be on the outside, red's going to be on the inside. Pink's going to be on, I guess it'd be the right side of the car, but looking at it like this, passenger side we'll say. And then white is on this side. And that's it. And then where they plug in, blue and red, white and pink. So hopefully you guys can follow that. I know this video sucks, but trust me, it's a lot better than, you know, there's nothing else out there. So I'm trying to help. You know, I know my videos sometimes are a little bit long-winded and hard to follow. So next, I guess, before I leave you guys, I will get into the car real quick. This car is actually in fantastic shape. It's one of the better ones I've ever had. I'm in love with this car, actually. So everything, what I love about it is it's never been messed with. Never. It has 6,800 original miles. It was parked a couple years after the guy bought it, and it never moved. So that's actually pretty incredible. So I don't think anybody ever worked on it, like from the dealer or anything. And when you see shit like this, all right, let's see here. Stuff like this is what, you know, what makes a car like this super valuable. You can see that all of the that's all original, man. That's from the factory. All the tape and everything is still there with the colors. It's all in fantastic shape. So this will be easier than any other freaking car I've probably ever worked on as far as trying to do this. So I have there's another older video that I did that shows this out of the car, and it's probably a little bit better. So if you can't kind of see this, I'm trying to get the light right. So green, pink, white, brown, and yellow, I believe is how it goes on the outside there. And then you can kind of see on the inside the blue. Let me see. Shit, sorry. Blue, red. Let's see if we can get there's the blue, and then the red. But I got another video that shows that a little bit better. But I don't know. Hopefully that'll help you guys. And then you have the two washer ones. They come in actually into the firewall and go above all this shit, and then above the steering column and over to the wiper switch. Oh, I'll show you guys real fast. Oh, I'm getting too old for this shit. Where they go in, and then that'll be it. I'll leave you alone. There they are. So there's one slightly bigger than the other one. One feeds, and then one's gonna go, the bigger one is gonna go here to the actual wiper for when you push that button. And